Hello everyone, and a warm welcome to the show. I am Omono Okonkwo with this week's edition of Energy Frontiers. Let's highlight some of the biggest headline news in Africa's energy industry this week. Oil and natural gas exploration company Sintana Energy has received approval for renewal of Petroleum Exploration License 83 to support drilling of an exploration well in Namibia, expected in 2023. The African Development Bank, Africa 50, and the African Sovereign Investors Forum have formed a coalition to finance climate-resilient infrastructure on the continent. Multinational utility company NG Energy Access has signed a €10 million loan agreement with the European Investment Bank at the Africa Energy Forum in Brussels for rural electrification projects in the Republic of Benin. The project will benefit 643,000 people. Afrexim Bank has concluded a $35 million facility to support Pan-African Power Developer AEE Power to deliver power infrastructure across sub-Saharan Africa. Blended Finance Facility Cross-Boundary Energy Access has raised $25 million to finance solar mini-grids in Africa. The mini-grids will combine solar and batteries to provide uninterrupted grid-quality power to households and businesses. Africa-focused energy company CHARIOT has awarded initial feasibility studies on Morocco's ANCHOIS gas field to SCHLUMBERGER and SUBSEA 7. The companies are expected to adopt a collaborative approach to conduct the study. This week, the chairman of the African Energy Chamber, NJIU, gave insights into what needs to be done for recent oil and gas discoveries made in Namibia to benefit the country. That is the focus for our Energy Quick Chat this week. This is Energy Frontiers. Welcome back to the program. On this week's Energy Quick Chat, we feature NJIU talking about the regulation Namibia needs in order to benefit from recent oil and gas discoveries in the southern African country. Enjoy it.
Namibia is one of the best hydrocarbon plays. I think we had always been hoping and dreaming for something big to happen in Namibia. And now the country has been very successful. Where do we go from here? That's always a big question. We are the place where you have a government. And the big question you're going to ask is, is Namibia going to make the same mistakes like what we've seen with the other African countries? Is Namibia going to be the next Nigeria, or Namibia is going to be the next Angola, or Namibia is going to not be able to develop gas, or what is that going to happen? We have to look at the fundamental structures. The fundamentals in Namibia are good. What do I mean by that? They have been able to develop a mining system and a regulatory framework that has made it attractive for oil and gas companies to come and explore and develop. They've built a system of checks and balances that already exists within the countries, and it's one of the countries in Africa that has least corruption today. Wherever officials have acted improperly, they have been dealt with. And I think that gives me hope of that Namibia can rise to this occasion. But then we have to also look at issues around policy. How do you fast track these developments? What do you do when during a period where we're seeing a big trend around the world dealing with climate change, energy transition, gas flaring, and how we're going to drive that? Yes, what is you are likely to see? You are going to see the newest technologies in oil and gas exploration and field development being used in Namibia. That's the beauty of coming in last. You look at what Shell and Total Energies are putting out there. They are very sensitive. You have world-class companies that are very sensitive to issues around the environment, issues around gas flaring, most likely thinking about re-injecting gas and producing more oil. But also, you also have to look at what Namibians are thinking. Namibians are thinking right now of the big advantage of using gas. They've already entered into agreements with Zambia on how you're going to build a pipeline and use gas, and that gas could really move into Zambia and really power the mines. Namibia is already using a lot of coal out of South Africa to power the country. It's a big advantage of using gas for domestic power generation. Building urea, ammonia, NPK fertilizer plants, really driving a supplier-based economy with petchems. But there's also that big push where you're seeing green hydrogen being used at this time. They're going to be looking at building energy cities, which those energy cities are on all offshore supplier bases are going to be powered by green. You're going to see green hydrogen coming into that, and you're also going to see green ammonia, but also the ability to look at moving gas into places like South Africa to really deal with decarbonization issues when they're looking at phasing down coal. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the kind of regulations that they're looking at putting in place. Those regulatory frameworks is really, really important. And Namibia has done very good when you look at the petroleum sector with the Petrol Fund, and where they've had support from the oil and gas companies to really train people. But that's not enough. A lot more needs to be done. You need to look at continuing a regulatory framework that makes it more attractive for people to continue ongoing exploration and ongoing investment on people, incentivizing local content. We can't look at local content like the same way we look at the past. You got to look at local content from a viewpoint of empowering people to create market-driven policies that you can reshape the economies and expand the tax base for a lot of people to get jobs, opportunities, and grow. But bigger than that, we got to look at taxes, making sure that we create a tax framework for oil and gas to ensure that production can continue, but also service companies can work. We got to look at and have a very firm policies around gas flaring and around the environmentally sound ways to produce this. I do believe from a chamber perspective that there is big hope and big opportunities to reshape an energy sector in Namibia and really close that divide between struggle and success.
Does a capacity exist for the Namibian government to change the terms of the licenses?
I don't think it's an issue of them changing the terms of the production sharing contracts before development plans are being made. Because we have to be very careful to respect the sanity of contracts. It is supreme, it is key. Namibia has operated on that same principle of respecting the sanity of contracts. And to change it at this moment it would send a bad message to the explorers who are doing ongoing exploration programs. Capital for continuous exploration and development in our region is not stuck just for Namibia or for Botswana or for Ghana. We are competing for capital in the industry that is shrinking upstream hydrocarbon investment. We're competing for that capital with Guyana and Suriname because capital is going to go where it is embraced and wanted and encouraged and nurtured. So we need to send the right message, and those right steps would encourage continuous flow of this investment and then boost up local content and drive up free markets. And then young people are going to know that this is going to work for them. There's a big market in Africa that we have to look at. So not only going to Europe is good, going to Asia is good, but just look right next door to you, South Africa. There is already a big gas market that could be game changer, help South Africa to decarbonize from or face down or face out, whatever my leftist friends what they would choose from coal. But now you could bring gas to go in there. But Namibia itself needs that gas to power. Don't use coal. Petrochemicals, urea, ammonia, NPK, fertilizer plants, drive new petchems industry, supply the world. But also The revenue from here would also help it drive a green economy with great potential around green hydrogen, because you're not going to get green hydrogen built in Namibia based on aid. It's too expensive with the electrolyzers. You would have to put some skin in the game. So you would have to find ways that you can use that. But this is also a time to have that conversation with all companies that are talking about they want to spend big on decarbonization and the green economy. So Namibia has a chance to go out there and pick key experts who have maybe worked in Guyana on key field development issues, have looked at driving things in places like Nigeria, maybe have worked in the North Sea, have worked in similar operations, but also looking at technology today when you look around floating LNGs, and pick these guys and put a world-class team that drives it together, a very pragmatic, common sense approach, and drive that. Some of them you're not going to find in Namibia, but also bring Namibians within their team to develop that. And I think that is going to be essential. And I do have confidence in Namibian leadership to put that team together and help them engage with the IOCs. It's not going to be a conflict. It's not going to be a confrontation. It's going to be a collaboration towards a goal that both sides benefit.
Welcome back to Energy Frontiers. Let's track the prices of some energy products. Early on Friday, the London Brent crude rose 0.05% to trade at $110.10 USD per barrel, while the US WTI climbed 0.24% to trade at $104.52 USD per barrel. Natural gas was trading down 0.05% to trade at $6.23 USD per MMBTU, also in early Friday trade. This week, a gallon of gasoline in Tunisia, in Northern Africa, cost 8.82 Tunisian dinar. In Libreville, the Gabon capital, a gallon of gasoline cost 2,290 CFA francs. And that's the package for this edition of Your Energy Frontiers, and we thank you for watching. You can follow the show on Frontier Africa Reports website and across all our social media handles, as shown on the screen. It is goodbye from me, Omono Okonkwo, and I will see you next time.